Namu akwabon from Lucky Black Media. Abuja finally ya maame Chief Justice Getrude tukonu saki ene wono ababonten abetu nanumutu maame nsem ba ene ye Chief Justice bomodian se wa be resign bomodian so be resign sebi enwase wo yi no aya na mfata kani ba maame said da ye beka abuja mene ukase mami ababontia ne letters ne nam social ne media ne yiza maame na signature eka ho a wode wonhye de akọ Supreme Court se enkrofo maako numbi ewo Supreme Court a womo na achi agina ewo MPP amanyoku nim se womo ntiase ma remover si yi na firi honum no womo ntiase na sani ade ne sibi kono wono ababonte se ebeya Supreme Court judge awote so emfa ne nsa ento sansem ne so na nipa maako num ade asem na court no wonyi wo munyina mfiri asem ni mu na ono onim ne ntokwako eno na nkrofo bebrete sansem no se ha eboboba we na sha ase nche maame na eba bebie na no aka se afidie wa resign because ye na enim se sa enipa num ya etigina yi omutijina so mo ko dia ma ba esi musai sa at the end of the day dia wa ba bonte abeka se Supreme Court judge a wote so woye acting judge no empam sa nkrofo ni nyina no ntwa sa case ni mu emfiri honum emma eno ana nkrofo bi ekeka se maame Chief Justice emi se usuro chatuchikata because chatuchikata ba asem we see mu enti sane be ya chatuchikata waye lawyer anas wa call law school no nim mmremu case bi ani hon ma wadi fonti no eno na maame ni nim se sa de na eba no anhwe ya no ampentem ayi ni ho amfira asem yi no resign ya anhwe at the end of the day no chatuchikata begu nanim asia abuzia enam so ama sesi ame no kasa de baby abeko bia no obi a hwese sa mami ababonte Chief Justice Gertrude tukunu ababonte ababeka sanse wese ni obi a hwese wachena ye nan sorry anasa ne nansa so no mami abetima ababonte abeka sa fede wa resign abuzia yenkone nkoti nkomani bi emre sisi ye abuja baby a wo hwe me bia wo haw ne amane kodan ne bia da eda wo so bia no bomode se onimi bedi nkomo ye de samna nwanwaso bi aba e frene se sika kokko na gold samna wo haw bia da eda wo so bia wo hia sa samna we se bi afi wo ye bema wo hwe me wo bema sam wo pom bema ye ketwa rabaji bula matali edro bi na wo bema enye kese watimi abo adwuma so ache ewo empem ye de akwankyere bi aba abuja no ye hwehwe wo hyebrim ye frene se mpelifo akwankyere anase wo betima frene back to sender onipa bi ha onipa bi tata wato bet ewo ho se wo sanity bi obeku bomode so be fa numbers na egu screen ase na woni mi akasa me hwehwe hyebre mu hwia na bomode se me kire wo ne obeye beda
facts ne de bro no Chief Justice osono maame na nkasa asore ko Supreme Court say Supreme Court en hold to 5-member committee no say prima facie case ni di no ye bedi ono ankasa na sem NPP for
Chimi for party jawo
na obi hu awon ti ase Chief Justice we am hu say oye den ya obeko Chief Justice oye den ya obeko because you don't even qualify adena oye no Otina Supreme Court no decisions in the buy and say na what 10 when decisions no it wasn't the best. What the decisions by the then National Security Minister ebe catch say Mr. Madam Chief Justice decisions na mudi free herba no a national security threat. NPP for
Chimi for party jawo
na Chief Justice no obia ka je sa wo MPP ni ti no nam ina that is why MPP for na ebo kidom ye uko do court Chief Justice lawyer na wan former Deputy Attorney General ene Attorney General na nkasa Godfrey Dame ene Chief Justice lawyer ena tuya e back Godfrey Dame Afenya Markins e back omo say yenko ka say President when who kwan say we Chief Justice Now, when she was bringing these decisions, lawyer Chechuchi Kata at the foot will be my Chief Justice and a Ghana for. Say, Pacho, me and teacher Chechuchi Kata on the GH1, this particular interview. Pacho, in teacher Chechuchi Kata this time around.
You know, the idea of asking for a stay of execution of a ruling of the Speaker, there is really no legal basis for a stay of execution of a ruling of the Speaker. The court, the Supreme Court and other courts, have the authority to stay execution of decisions within the court system.
Okay.
But you don't apply for a stay of execution of something.
But you Tiasema, lawyer Chechuchi Kata Kawaha. Abra Speaker of Parliament, a key statement to say those members of Parliament in across the capital cannot hold themselves as members of Parliament. After Markins, a Ghana call Supreme Court. Emma or Sonoma and ne or Tien, I can say, or not the ruling about if any stay of execution. There's a speaker ruling no beki or about to go. And on a Chechuchi and say there be Mremuno stay of execution applicable to court decisions, but yet another arm of government. And the Chief Justice aired. But you can't the whole interview. That is the reason why a Chief Justice, who said Chechuchi Kata, bab at the Wababe join petitioners in the person. Mamma Chechubu many months. Chief Justice say when Miani Chechu, Ibegun in Nimase. So that is the reason why a Chief Justice are you good to know. Just photos, and I encourage that. Why you good do? Why you good do? But your teacher Chechuchi Kata and Sema Okai. Now if you don't know the Chief Justice way or qualify as a young friend Chief Justice, and I say young fan court no two bottom court to be no good as a more about your team.
You know, the idea of asking for a stay of execution of a ruling of the Speaker, there is really no legal basis for a stay of execution of a ruling of the Speaker. The court, the Supreme Court and other courts, have the authority to stay execution of decisions within the court system.
Okay.
But you don't apply for a stay of execution of something that happens within another arm of government, which is the arm of the Speaker. Now, the impression was given that because this is a matter for interpretation and so on, therefore you can run to the court. But again, there are clear decisions of the courts themselves, including the Supreme Court, decisions which make it absolutely clear that you don't, under the guise of interpretation, take to the Supreme Court things that are within the preserve of other courts or other authorities in the system. Very clear decisions. And I think we have to have a little law class here because, because I like some of these passages from the decisions of the Supreme Court itself, you know, to be laid out for all of us to look at, because all of us have a responsibility to protect what is in the Constitution. The Supreme Court is not a law unto itself, fortunately. Neither is the Speaker a law unto himself. We all have responsibilities. So when, for instance...
Would you then say that the Supreme Court erred in that?
Well, definitely, in many respects. In fact, as I will try to perhaps explain if there is time, it erred in multiple respects. As I said, in the first respect, just running and saying there's a matter of interpretation, therefore Supreme Court, I'm before you, is not acceptable. The courts have said in many cases, there's this case, for instance, Edriamwa and Chum, where it was stated, Aqua, the Justice of the Supreme Court, as he then was, makes the point that all courts, tribunals, institutions, and all individuals are bound by the provisions of the Constitution in the adjudication of disputes before them.
All right. So, Leonard Chachuchikata, I catch the Chief Justice then say, after your markets, it got about how also making rules stay of execution and maybe any reassessor. Isaac and I can say the law is the law. Chief Justice and I can say the law is the law. And maybe any reassessor, so Chief Justice, who bet me now say, Parliament, Ashembra, all the stay of execution. I'm after your markets on from speaker say, speaker any who can say any way. So Chief Justice gave herself the power. Be a Ghana na ebini ho. Ono ankasa ebe dan te say oye lord ebi wo Ghana o ka asema obi nkabi. O hye mra ono ankasa na hye ne mra. To me the 2 days panel Supreme Court. Na fe de ya hye mra bi wo Ghana wa na mra exist. Eni wi ase bi ni say birth set enye proof of ID. But birth set no de ko Ghana card na de ko passport ja a proof of a citizenship, a proof of citizenship. Those things didn't even exist. But they gave themselves the power and the opportunity, and as an authority, you don't even know where they got it from. And at 10 a.m., Chief Justice then, you, me just say, oh, baby, I'm telling you, mama, when I will prove this, I know NPP, that is why I got for that money do it, because more go to Supreme Court first, So Swami, I say, MP, I couldn't feel come as a coy, the same dimension didn't chiko, so you have to know the answer and the Supreme Court and the amount. But Chief Justice could go when he must say Supreme Court because best Supreme Court on the Supreme Court no as I catch it, I was saying some of the banner sebi and answer say because go for that me the care ba am I can't say madam for get out in say me aka. It is also I for the same go for that minute also come say homa I don't even know as some of catch it. Yes, Priscilla. She almost sometimes I say Okasa will be so Okasa, but when this particular woman is so arrogant in the country, say no one know how to say things because Okasa now quite say Okasa Tiama. They say Priscilla Wakasa who are Oka. Mami be so arrogant be Ghana. O de ope how na Ojojo speaker lawyer no. Be na osetanase. Be na osetanase. Say asem na wo kan kwa no. As a nyanyansa asem kora ma no. That's when I do agree with you. See, the process is getting too long. That's why she's getting the nerve to talk. Yes, because my person president mama I buy and I was a part masakio. Bye call. Within your baby ano. Nanka rather near to Nanka Chief Justice no mum sorry so court. I could see what buying and if it ain't where they obey. But I say again and sometimes system need to low so slow say what be how I want to say. Because you penny giddy. Pa yeah boy in chain. I ain't far from now. Every day near one be yet na here. But your 1 hour with the Munufi and say, oh, question be in the comment section. No. We discuss it. Until the latest news are about say Chief Justice say or no mum no copy Supreme Court. So no mama say or Supreme Court say Supreme Court no and stop it President John Dramani Mahama say committee proceedings now why no yen stop it. Say beto asumpa or no mum chere justice nipa members 5-member committee no or chere say 2 bi ma yenyo mum firim na yen kofo no mum ni nipa meshim. Hey Ghana asemu ho o se nyankopon onye na de kwa. Chief Justice never thought to say ebe ko say yaba beto no. Tie ne oku pie Supreme Court na Supreme Court sometimes minim NPP for
Jimmy for party job. Who share?
What's your MPP again?
A Jimmy for party.
A Jimmy for party in the Anonia Dodo.
Oh, me Jina President Kufu doing Kwachana Bekala.
Now, Jimmy for party now, Bulgaria, also your MPP Nino.
Oh, now some resume Jimmy.
All right.
I'm flash nigga.
Bulgaria. Can Japan hear Manasamoha? Can Japan? NPP for Chief Justice. All right, for 1 hour the movie, but take your time, watch all the videos on this particular channel. And every day, I'm on to us. Hey, no, Bob, Charlie, easy. Chief Justice Amache say Ghana. Obi no counter say. Of course, he should be sacked. That's honestly Samba. I see a sacking on near bonnet on chain every day who say, Mammy on grown on count. Remember me a president and Casal Mayo. Can then somebody and pa what was a massacre? Men customer suspend the massacre. Men to committee in the day to be in the super and ye can't some pie and can. Oh, baby, I'll be an upper faco, knife the and cancer on view. Ah. Hey, even say, who does she think she is? Seriously, she is an idiot. The law is the law. Sorry to women. Of course, that's no one I can. Yeah, no one I can. The law is the law. Can the Japan the cast NPP for an idiot?
Another Jimmy, MPP for Mama Jimmy, what Jimmy Papa will stay in opposition forever. MPP for Nkwasia for Pa, what Jimmy MPP for Jimmy, we will be stupid people. I don't know why I belong to that political party. You are idiots.
Exactly. So can the Japan say NPP for an idiot? Also, some of my come home. And they will Chief Justice and we're going to Supreme Court and go on there. And some people are here na esre. Set, that's true. What goes around comes around. Because when she was making this kind of laws, when the judgment comes from the Supreme Court, she didn't think say ebekwa babidino. In the time, Tadio sorry, Eko raised this objection against Justice Gawuno. Answer what the man who goes to Supreme Court on the same answer na ne kwa come out. So you gana ni. And our rise kwa kuduru. And a president appointing us away justice or Supreme Court in Tibra. Ababo ame. Inti decision na wu Chief Justice who taking it then no. Expect the same decision. And a na former Attorney General Edisa MP nechi a court Supreme Court on answer na the man no. Don't expect a different answer. And no one be say free ho. Aba. You take your time. Ghana na ye pimko yenim ye hye Ghana John Mama ACC Ghana. John Mama ACC Ghana. So Ghana is not going back. You are moving forward ever. Ya pamo. Unti ase ane opibi ane ye. You are no more coming back again. That is something I believe. So when you want to rule a nation, a serious-minded people, any do mobile mind. It is a what one who will be able to system unqualified or can't be and terminal pack more units in change, madam, forget out. Let's move on because we need serious-minded people to rule the nations with them. And now good never be. All right, Ernest, me that say. I say I'm the coolest version of Kevin Taylor. Me that say. You say me near them, but we are me that say. I like Kevin Taylor show. Papa me share Kevin Taylor show be na papa be catch say so we are temni free ma. Obi jare de na ye. Nti me de no so down me that tembe ba mu no. Nya hwe. So nti ye more than that opposite directions are. So what I say. Nti this is 1 hour with Munofi. Me di ene William Munofi amankona. On this particular show, may I take my time, analyze issues, bring out the facts. Then Mahmoud Bawumia says, "We see a politician now. Who can't say, I somehow can for data, but no when your data I'm back here." That's what you're true for. So we back this particular show with data. Yeah, that talk about the how our no for this and no. So I may catch the data now on one case Supreme Court one. It is the same data now, and you can cover the man. We are not going to change anything. Nothing is going to change. May 100% assure says Chief Justice Naya Pamano, she's no more coming back again. To about fighter. Nail. Unyahe. And Yadi Unyahe. Or Han Hoka, NPP for
Jimmy for party job.
All right, this is how we do the show. I'll keep on coming 1 hour almost every blessed day. That is how I've been doing the show. And then we say more engaging from South. So somewhere from next week, I'll get the opportunity to accept calls and whatever. Until you show, so you just tell me. I just get you on the show. Now because I want to make this particular show more engaging. We are not gonna play because John Mama we need to coach things or the bar. Say if we correct it. That is how we're gonna do this particular show because we need to fight Ghana. I say Ghana is developing. yeah, Magana and San Konichiti. Wow, when says our development, we know on can we kick you out, then we move on. That's how we're gonna be. Also, mommy, they say, oh, no, who says she's not coming back. If that is why she's doing all this kind of thing, she will never come back again on paper. Now they say, "Es gracia na opa, any your mama bekasa or the bemao." Famao. Also, mammy who said Chachu kata kupi show, so I say, Chachu, Kaya Kwawe. Another Kaya.
I would say to the people of Ghana, I'm sorry. We are sorry for the poor work we have done. We're going to go and think about ourselves.
All right, the Chief Justice, former Chief Justice, should go and think about herself. She should rather tell Ghanaians that she is sorry. Godfrey Dame, so I have a problem with Godfrey Dame. Let's be serious. And then I say, he's also becoming a lawyer. He is leading it. Why? As a NPP mu assembly you find Godfrey Dame somewhere around it. Oni jumadi and answer because sometimes Godfrey Dame koyama one kasa wa down for judge or Supreme Court or country some of the bahen and assembly name. Pacha okay japa uncle no. Godfrey Dame down for pan. And so o catch the Godfrey Dame say in seven the bahano nyans assembly name. Nyansa sembia nim because other than a president say or no than home who so no my president no do buy no Ghana for to tia aba Ghana for to aba tia na buy no I been see the history of Ghana na wo kokota na ntia wo so wonko I dey asempani I say by force to be person the chief justice for Ghana or me tia say but let's assume say ya new na committee na etena ase no you say oh you have done nothing wrong e dey be na baba beka are you going to turn back and say to committee ni your moduma yi and answer oba beka say o man your moduma yi and I say ma obetena obi ma na NPP for nkwa na di wachi no do you think say Ghanaians will have the faith and the confidence in you say as a chief justice no o the attentene ne ebeba Ghana ho sometimes as people we need to sit down and think about decisions be a we NPP ni wakunya chief justice aya nobody says man NPP ni but say we want say Ghana na dey share one no because that position you held is for Ghanaians not NPP into one when the idea of my afanyama can some ayo because chief justice you could have been there very quietly but my politics and length and share we need too much it got to a time and after the decisions are all there Ghanaians didn't even have faith and confidence in the courts again. Na makasi yichi justice we free where I say a digging down into some courts in Ghana na nipa bi atitete ho no e chi omo so ba because I have about 3 different courts bi in Ghana nipa atitete ho no they are problem people for the society and personally I will write petition against some of them to Attorney General say akwa we say court has a hwani ye obi a magistrate to court ha hwani ye anya sa or the fee ba be ka NDC party no Akwabi court ba kubi otachima. I told a lawyer today say I will write a formal petition against him to the chief justice or a register of one of the courts. I will bring his name, I will bring his photo and everything, and then tell the chief justice akwa we say veniye or in pabonini or mambo for these are they are crooks in the court. We need to fish all of them out and then build a better society. Because minor John Mama Basso Baba correct the wrongs in the society no. We as Ghanaians no deliver. That is how we want things to do. And now I was surprised when I check a dollar rate where we are dollar rate no dropping. I was shocked. So what a wow. And this is for boss Edmund Wing in Abba na kwabra ni biti baby na semone eno wodi. Kwabra ni biti baby. Na ono na na bi say John Mama na Attorney General my so mo kora man no so ti ho no say no. No, we will fish them out and then tell the Attorney General, say, Mr. Attorney General, I we say, Shaha, it's a money a wood in it. Can ye? So, one win a year or the problem, baby. So we need to let Attorney General and the others know say there are some people, some crooks in our society. We need to push them out. Yaba Attorney General Manai Sajumano. Because Yanyan is NDC party, Yanyan say Yamubi about say party to see you. Dabi. Why say party now? No. You have to find somewhere to go because we will help the president. Kwan bia ya tiwiase yetiase as your boy president bia ma president echichire man na Ghana for akase ene ye pen bia no. We have to go about it. And you help the president to do that. Until when you're ready, no, stay cool, stay somewhere, and then get out. We are member for I ain't me no chichire mind. Because me say me tenase if you how John Mama mo achichire Ghana de bedru ba bia na yadru 4 months a penno. 4 months a penno. He will be a dollar rate in edu. Dollar rate and then $1 11.95. Now say what tenase Mamudu Bo mi amo betu mfuturo di gu ani. I'm surprised say even the media no create Alhaji Dr. Mamudu Bo mi ase me beka kire. I read on the news my joy when I say for say asema Mamudu Bo mi aka no e right e din na mte mo de mo jimi de sebe. My joy for no money Mamudu Bo mi aka asema you go back to cross check and know say right and say wrong. The 8 years no be vice president and as the head of Ghana's economic management team no dia dey no yeah my joy for me to report here. Sometimes the traditional media in our Ghana, they are becoming a problem for the society. Because we'll be to make the less than 5 months. Or 5 months into administration. $1 and free 18 cities, we do 11.9. Now you think, say, Mamudu Bo, me answer on a Bible report, my idea. There's something absolutely wrong with Wagme. But if you don't agree with me, you can also tell me. Because over the last 8 years, Mamudu Bo, I would emphasize over the last 16 years, held lectures against how to stabilize Ghana's economy, how to stabilize Ghana's exchange rate and so forth. He assumed the presidency by rising to become the vice president as head of Ghana's economic management team. For $1 from 4 cities to 18 cities. Lectures and now according to opposition, when he says something, then we get some people in the country to start to report, say, Asama Mamudu Bo mi can there's something wrong with you people. There's absolutely something wrong with you. So we need to correct the wrongs in the society. We need to help the president Ghana for to also help him to build the better society we all want. That is how we're gonna do. We are building the society that we all want. That is how we are moving it. So it's gradually. By the time John Mama be in 4 years, you Ghanaians will know say but there are differences in the society. Until Ghana and the best country NDC say twaso. Until that is how we do it. Until so we will question BBC will wait me and them in the comment section now if they other than that, and I think say and then the BC will have I'll come back. Until Christopher Donko say God's judgment against them was carried out in 1740 BC when the Assyrians overthrew the 10 tribe kingdoms of Israel and led its inhabitants into captivity. The Bible quotation pa na da bayo. I was surprised that Chuchikata would in a court equal to Bible.
I conclude with prophetic words that were spoken centuries ago. For they sow the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. These are the words of the prophet Hosea, to be found in Hosea chapter 8, verse 7. He that has an ear, let him hear.
Wow, sono. Hema wintini. Sono mame. He catch it say, bye bye. Oh, my babe. Koda. Osino mama is not coming back again. So wow, I don't know Osino mama. And Pacho share can say, Madam. I don't know when you to quite now. As I did where you can lose it. Also, you are just fighting a losing battle and as a lost battle. As a Ukraine for a Russian to quite. What losing to quite also win jai. Also, there be a bow. Anyway, 1 hour with Munufia was for I think 7 basic you had Yamay Adama, maybe your china. Maybe na a second commonable. I don't want to disappoint any.